Thank you very much.
Hey, yo.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Great Dev, all glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to
you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to your wonderful Srila.
Shikari. Hare Krishna.
Jai Prabhu.
How are you doing, Prabhuji?
Fine, Prabhu. By the mercy of Guru and Krishna and Vaishnavas.
Very well.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, dear devotees, today we are fortunate to have the Association of His Grace KAVIKARNAPURA Prabhu, who will be discussing and sharing the SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM with us today. So we encourage devotees to pay attention, open their ears and eyes, and listen attentively and participate also, if possible. So, Prabhuji, I may put the verse on the screen and you take it over.
No problem, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaivam narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashta prayesha padreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtike Tadaraja Bhava Kamalo Vadayaschaye Chetaita Navidam Sitam Satve Prasidati. Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to this evening, morning, afternoon SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM class. And today we'll be taking our reading from Bhagavatam Canto 1, chapter 19, the appearance of Shukadev Goswami, text number 5. So I will read the Sanskrit. Because I'm using phone, I will not be able to focus on the screen. I will read from the book here. So it's smaller on the phone. Ato vyaye mam amum cha lokam vimashatau eyataya purastat Krishnagri sivam adimayamana upavishat prayam amartya nadyam ato vyaye mam amum cha lokam vimashitau eyataya purastat Krishnagri sevam adimayamana upavishat prayam amartya nadyam ato vyayamam chalokam vimashitau eyataya purastat Krishnagri sevam adimayamana upavishat prayam amatai nadyam ato vyayeman amum chalokam vimasitau eyataya purastat Krishnagri sevam adimayamana upavishat prayam amataya nadyam. What translation? Ato, thus, vyaya, giving up, imam, this, amum, and the next, cha, also, lokam, planet, vimashitao, all of them being judged, eyataya, because of inferiority, purastat, hearing before, Krishna angry, the lotus feet of the Lord, Sri Krishna. Sevam, transcendental loving service. Adimayamanaha, one who thinks of the greatest of all achievements. Upavishat, sat down firmly. Prayam, for fasting. Amatyanadhyam, on the bank of the transcendental river, the Ganges or the Jamuna. Translation of Prabhupada by His Divine Grace Abai Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Maharaj Parikshit sat down firmly on the banks of the Ganges to concentrate his mind in Krishna consciousness, rejecting all other practices of self-realization. Because transcendental loving service to Krishna is the greatest achievement, superseding all other methods. I repeat, Maharaj Parikshit sat down firmly on the banks of the Ganges to concentrate his mind in Krishna consciousness, rejecting all other practices of self-realization, because transcendental loving service to Krishna is the greatest achievement, superseding all other methods. Purport. So Srila Prabhupada explains, for a devotee like Maharaj Parikshit, none of the material planet, even the topmost Brahmaloka, is as desirable as Goloka Vrindavan. the abode of Lord Sri Krishna, the primeval Lord and the original personality of Godhead. This earth is one of the innumerable material planets within the universe. And there are innumerable universes also within the compass of the Mahatattva. The devotees are told by the Lord and his representatives, the spiritual master or Acharya, that not one of the planets within all the innumerable universes is suitable for the residential purposes of a devotee. The devotee always desires to go back home, back to Godhead, just to become one of the associates of the Lord in the capacity of servitor, friend, parent, or conjugal lover of the Lord, either in one of the innumerable Vaikuntha planets or in Goloka Vrindavan, the planet of Lord Sri Krishna. All these planets are eternally situated in the spiritual sky, the Parabioma, which is one of the other side of the casual ocean within the Mahatattva. Maharaj was already aware of all this information due to his accumulated piety and birth in a high family of a devotee, Vaishnavas, and thus he was not at all interested in the material planet. Modern scientists are very eager to reach the moon by material arrangement, but they cannot conceive of the highest planet of this universe. Or a devotee like Maharaj Parishit does not care a fig of the moon or, for the matter, any of these material planets. So when he was assured of his death on a fixed date, he became more determined in the transcendental loving service of Lord Krishna by complete fasting on the bank of the transcendental river Jamuna, which flowed down by the capital of Hastinapur in the Delhi state. Both the Ganges and the Jamuna are Amartya, transcendental rivers, and Jamuna is still more sacrificed for the following reasons. Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Minizam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitan Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Shri Rupa Sagrajata Sagana Raghunata Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padasagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamsta Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Kavichandra Swaminiti Namini Namaste Prabhupadartari Nama Pracharini Grata Vitarana Pritiveshishagaine Sada Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurudishe Namaha Panchadatamagam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavatara Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapataru Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So you all once welcome again to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. And today verse is very, very important. Yesterday, just like we heard from Advaita Krishna Prabhu yesterday. So yeah, today is stated, Mahaparishi sat down firmly on the banks of the Ganges to concentrate his mind in Krishna consciousness, rejecting all other practices of self-realization because transcendental loving service to Krishna is the greatest achievement, superseding all other methods. So today's verse is describing the characteristics or the importance of pure devotional service. So it is stated here that Parishit Maharaj rejected all other practices of self-realization. And that is one of the characteristics of pure devotional service. In Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned in the beginning of Nectar of Devotion the characteristics of pure devotional service. And if you see in the purport, properly explained, because why was it easy for Parishit Maharaj to be able to do this? Because he was born in the family of devotee. He grew up in the family of devotee. So it was very easy for him to practice pure devotional service. So what are those characteristics of pure devotional service? I will quickly read, then go ahead and describe about pure devotional service. And after that, I will discuss the importance of ways to leave the body and give example of those who have done that. Then we'll conclude again by talking more about pure devotional service. So what are those characteristics of pure devotional service mentioned in Nectar of Devotion? I will just quickly go through them. Number one is pure devotional service give immediate relief from material distress. Pure devotional service give immediate relief from material distress. This is for some of us who are neophyte. We all felt this when we came to devotional service. That many of us, no matter whatever situation we're coming from, no matter whatever is your condition of life, immediately you came to devotional service, you could feel that relief. And that is why many of us, we stuck to this process till now. You could feel that there's nothing else more than this. I just want to do this again and again in my life. Nothing else I want to do. Even many of us, we abandon our material pursuits just to give up, to completely surrender to this process because of that, what we felt in that initial state. We felt it. It's not fake or what will I say? Or maybe somebody like deceive you. No, we felt it. That is why we remain. There was no deception. We personally felt that, immediate relief. And the second characteristic is mentioned, pure devotional service is the beginning of all auspiciousness. And in that purport, our purport explained in the Nectar of Devotion how just by practicing pure devotional service, even the trees, the ants, all benefit from just like when Chaitanya Prabhu went to Haridas Thakur in Jagannath Puri, he was describing about the glories of chanting the holy name. And Haridas Thakur was telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu how even just by shouting loudly, the ants, they can benefit. The trees. These are the importance of pure devotions that they can create all auspiciousness for all the living entity in the three worlds. By dancing, you are benefiting the lower planet, and raising your hands, you are benefiting even the heavenly planet. This is how pure devotional service can create all auspiciousness. And the third one is pure devotional service automatically puts one in transcendental pleasure. That pleasure that we cannot derive from our material achievement. There was one joke I saw today. I laughed when I saw it. But that reminded me of something else. So somebody say, money cannot give happiness. You just send me a lot and see whether money cannot give happiness. Send some money to my pocket. Let me receive their laugh and see whether I will not be happy. I was just laughing when I saw that. But I always tell people that truly, money doesn't give happiness. Money gives comfort. With money, you can buy comfort. And that is why those who are very rich, they can give themselves comfortable environment, situation, but still, so many of them are not happy. If money can give happiness, then they should be the most happiest people in the whole universe. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that we can only derive transcendental pleasure from pure devotional service, nothing else. Then I'll mention the fifth one, which is relevant to what we are in today's verse. It says, pure devotional service. It said those in pure devotional service derive even the conception of liberation. And that is why Parishit Maharaj is getting all other processes, because it's already situated on the platform of pure devotional service. And number 6, he said pure devotional service is the only means to attract Krishna. There's no other means. And there's another one also. He said pure devotional service is rarely achieved. So it's not very easy to achieve pure devotional service. And we can see that if you see how Srila Rupa Goswami arranged this characteristics of pure devotional service, is being arranged according to the level of our realization in devotional service. So here it is mentioned, number 51, which is close to the topmost one, which is on the level of Mahabhav. Number 51 is those in pure devotional service derive even the conception of liberation. And that is related to today's verse. So it is mentioned in today's verse that, Maharaj Parishit sat down firmly on the bank of Ganges to concentrate his mind in Krishna consciousness, rejecting all other practices of self-realization, because transcendental loving service to Krishna is the greatest achievement, superseding all other methods. And Krishna himself mentioned in several places in Bhagavad Gita how we cannot attain him only when we are situated on the platform of pure devotional service. Bhakti Amam Anayaya Shakya, 1154, Krishna mentions, Bhakti Amam Anayaya Shakya, Aha meva bido Arjuna, Gyantum Drashtum Chata Tuena Pravichit, Pravistum Chaparantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am. Standing before you, I cannot be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into mysteries of my understanding. Krishna is confirming this. So only by pure devotional service we can attain Krishna. And that is why, because Parishit Maharaj has realized this throughout his life, he saw Krishna in the womb of his mother. So he has realized, and that is why his name was Parishit Maharaj. He was given Parishit Maharaj because when he came out, he was looking for Krishna here and there. So throughout his life, he was always conscious of Krishna, always remembering Krishna. So he has attained that platform of pure devotional service. So that is why it was very easy for him when he was caused to die within 7 days. He abandoned everything and focused on that pure devotional service, which he knew that that is the only way to attain Krishna. There is no other way. There is no other way. So he focused his mind 100% on that. And that is why somebody may say, if now Parikshit Maharaj is going to die within 7 days. So it's very easy for him. Just like if somebody has a terminal cancer and he's given a day that he will die so period of his time. So it's very easy for such person to give up everything and dedicate their life to God, to Krishna. But what about those who are living their normal life and they don't have such encounter? How can they practice pure devotional service? Because pure devotional service is really achieved according to the characteristics of devotional service I just mentioned now from Nectar of Devotion. Is really achieved. So how can we come to this platform? What will happen if we, in the beginning, we become very serious on this part of devotional service, and due to one reason or the other, one give it up? Then this is corroborated in the Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, text number 17, where Narada Muni gave assurance, a kind of a spiritual insurance policy for those who are taking this process very seriously. So there, Narada Muni was giving kind of insurance policy to devotees. Don't be scared to give up everything and take to pure devotional service 10%. So what is the verse says? It says, "Tak tua so dharma sharana bujam hari. Bajana pa kyo ta pate ya tato yadi. Yatra kwa baba drama bu amusia kim. Ko varta apto bajantam so dharma taha." So this verse is very, very, very important for all the devotees. This verse, we should memorize it and try to digest it. It's very important because it is our insurance policy in devotional service. As I say, in advanced world, there are so many insurance policies, In African country, people don't take it very seriously. But in the advanced country, you have the health insurance, you have car insurance, you have house insurance, so many things being insured. So this is our spiritual insurance policies here mentioned in this verse. And not only this verse, I will read the subsequent one that follow also. So here it is mentioned by Narada Muni to Vyasadeva. It says, "Taktua." Taktua means to give up. If somebody taktua swadharma, in the beginning, when you have this fever of devotion in you, many of us we had that also. We experienced this in the beginning of early stage of our devotional service. He said, if you in the beginning it's natural. When you come in contact with devotional service, you feel this immediate release of relief from stress, distress. So it's a natural attitude to take full shelter of devotional service and giving up all material activities. It's natural. So many of us we came through this process. We passed through it. So he said, "Taktua swadharma." Somebody who has given up his swadharma, his occupational duty. Sharana bujam hari, take full shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. We now mention the next verse. Bajama paku. What is the meaning? Bajana paku. Or somehow due to immaturity, apakwa. Immaturity. Tapatet, he falls down due to immaturity. He falls down due to immaturity. He said, "Yatra kwa baba drama bu." There is no loss for such person. Abadra, there is no inauspiciousness for such person, even though he fell down due to immaturity. This is the glories of pure devotional service. By engaging in the pure devotional service, we just try directly read the translation by Prabhupada. Say, one who has forsaken his material occupation to engage in the devotional service of the Lord may sometimes fall down while in immature stage, yet there is no danger of him being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duty, does not gain anything. So what this verse is saying that there is no loss if one dedicate their life completely 100%, 10% to pure devotional service, giving up all material activities. I always tell people, There's no danger in become 100% spiritual, but there's danger when we become 100% material. So if we have not understood the science of how to balance our life, how to become 100% spiritual, we can balance our life 50-50 or 75-25, if you know how to do that, the calculation. But there is no danger in becoming 100% spiritual. There is no danger. That is why I call this spiritual insurance policy. Because Sheila, Narada is saying that if one give up everything and surrender to the Lord in initial stage, but due to immaturity, he falls from the path. There is no problem. There is no danger. Then in the next verse, he buttressed that point. He says, person who are actually intelligent, philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful end, which is not obtainable even by wandering from the topmost planet, Brahma Loka, down to the lowest planet, Patala Loka. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in the course of time. Just as in course of time, we obtain mysteries, even though we do not desire them. This is a very nice one. This is very, very, very important for Grihasthas. This verse is very, very, very important for Grihastha. Is to support that the first point about what happened to one who completely give up who surrender to the Lord. Here is mentioning that, like my Guru Maharaj, when the Guru Maharaj was giving lecture the other day, he said there's nothing like a spiritual karma that, okay, by your karma, you attain Krishna. No. Spirituality is more of your endeavor and the mercy of the Lord. But your material karma, you will naturally get. It will come to you, your material happiness. Whether you are going to be a wealthy man, whether you are going to be this, you are going to be that, build a house. All these things will naturally come on their own. That is what this verse is saying. Saying in the course of time, your enjoyment will come, miseries also will come, even without working hard for them. They will come. Enjoyment and miseries. It's a natural thing. We are in the world of duality. But the spiritual aspect of our life, that does not depend on our karma. And that is why we can give it up at any time. If we offend devotees, it's easy to give up, to lose all the piety of practicing devotion, so you can give it up. And then take it at any time you become remorseful, just like Parikshit Maharaj became remorseful. Oh, I've done something bad. So you can easily give it up. So, but your material karma will be there. Whether to enjoy, to suffer, it will be there. But your spiritual, our spiritual practice, it depends on the mercy of the devotees of the Lord and our own endeavor. So that is why I call this. Then I will go to the next one. I will just quickly read that. He said, nice. 19. It now says, my dear yesterday, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes falls down somehow or another, he certainly does not undergo material existence like others, fruitive workers, etc. Because a person who has once realized the taste of the lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again. I will stop there. So that is why I call it spiritual insurance policy, because here he's saying, whatever we have experienced in the beginning of our devotional service, by engaging in serious devotional service, that will always remain. And that is why no matter what happens, a devotee will always come back. We always remember Krishna. We can see in the life of Parikshit Maharaj, immediately he was cursed. You remember the pure devotional service from the beginning of it, what he has been doing from the beginning of his life. And he gave up, said, now let me concentrate. He gave up any other processes. He was not interested because of whatever he has experienced in the part of pure devotional service. He gave up other processes. He was not interested. He was only focused in devotional service, pure devotional service to Krishna. He was only interested in that. You want to engage in pure devotional service to the Lord. And that is why, like the whole topic about Parishit Maharaj is about giving up his body. So I will quickly talk about how, as a devotee, it's very, very important for us to practice pure devotional service. Because why? At the end of the day, there are 3 ways we can live our body as a devotee. Sorry, there are 3 ways we can remember the Lord when we are living our body as a devotee. 3 ways. There is one verse in the 2nd canto of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, very nice verse. So the verse is saying, Itava Sakya Yoga Abhyam, Swadharma Parinishtaya, Dharma Laba Parampum, Ate Narayana Smriti. No matter whatever we are doing, the perfection of human being, of human life, Dharma Laba Parampum Sham. The perfection of human life is to remember the lotus feet of the Lord, Ate Narayana Smriti, to remember the Lord at the end of life. And that is why this whole verses in SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM is being given. And that is why we are reading about Parishit Maharaj, teaching us how to live the body. He was caused to die within 7 days. I did touch Krishna Prabhu mentioned yesterday. 7 days can be is within the 7 weeks. It can be any time in the week. It can be 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 months, 7 years, 70 years. It can be any time. So, but the most important thing is that one who has realized that one day is going to leave his body will take to practice of devotional service very seriously. Very seriously. Because we don't have any other shelter. One who have realized that, just imagine, I was listening to Shamananda Prabhu. So Shamananda Prabhu was saying, we are in the age of Kali. And by default, when we buy a phone or any electronic gadget, you see setting by default or whatever. See, by default setting, Kali Yuga is the age of faithlessness. Everything is sliding down every day. We are becoming very advanced in medicine, but the sickness is increasing, in different levels. We are becoming very advanced in medicine, but the sickness is increasing. Our level of concentration is becoming, we cannot concentrate for even 1 second. We have all the social medias to bombard our mind day and night. Concentration is becoming very small. Everything is sliding down. So one preacher was saying that, what do we want to gain in this world? There's nothing for us in this world. Because everything is falling down in Kali Yuga. Everything. The age is deteriorating. Our body is deteriorating, becoming more and more fragile. Sickness here and there, cancer, COVID. Everything is sliding down in Kali Yuga, no matter how technological advanced we are becoming. But everything is sliding down day by day. No intelligent man will want to say in such world where everything is sliding down day by day. We cannot tolerate ourselves for 1 second. Any little thing, there is a fight. We give ourselves fight, serious fight. To the extent that we can even, finish a whole country just because of whatever we are going to gain or whatever, I don't know. So tolerance is decreasing, cleanliness, austerity, everything is sliding down in Kali Yuga. The age, life expectancy in Africa is very low. Some other part of the world is still very high, but in Africa is going down day by day. So I remember those days, I always remember this. Those days people are talking about going back to the kingdom of God, but nobody is talking about that again. But this is the actual time we're supposed to be talking more and more about that. Because why? No intelligent man will want to stay here, that everything is falling apart day by day, because by default setting, that is how Kali Yuga is designed. So like I was saying, There are three ways to remember the Lord living this world. Number one is memorizing a shloka. Srila Prabhupada always tell us that we should memorize shlokas so that at that time, no matter whatever happens, maybe we may remember that shloka. And shloka memorization is very, very important for we devotee. Very, very important. If you remember the story of Gajendra, in his previous life was a king. And he renounced everything, practiced devotional service, and he was memorizing shlokas. As a devotee, he memorized so much shlokas. Somehow or the other, you offended a devotee. You can never know what will happen in the journey of your spiritual life. And that is why we should always be ready. He offended a devotee, and he was caused to be taking a body of a Gajendra. He took the body of a Gajendra, and he was undergoing intense suffering. And somehow, the remembrance of those shlokas he has learned came to him. And he started offering prayers to the Lord. And that saved him from that situation. And that is why it's very important. And because of that shloka he recited, the Lord came, delivered him, he attained perfection, and so many other things happened. So it's very, very important for devotees to memorize shloka. And we can see when Manavinapuri was leaving his body also, he was constantly reciting a particular shloka. I cannot remember that particular shloka today. But his shloka is a very advanced shloka that was, showing his lamentation about how he has not attained Krishna. Oh, Mathuranath, how can I see you? All those kind of, it was like lamenting to meet Krishna. Even his servants criticized him. So, you are supposed to be a man Bhagavat. Why are you crying? But it shows how very advanced in reciting shloka to remember Krishna. Just by reciting shloka, it can bring your remembrance of Krishna. That is how powerful shloka is, especially when you have learned this shloka very scrutinizingly. And that is why many of us don't know why Srila Prabhupada was reciting Srimad Bhagavatam when he was leaving his body. Because that was remembering him of Krishna. Because it is mentioned that every page of Bhagavatam is Krishna, nothing else. So Srila Prabhupada was reciting shlokas, giving purport to those shlokas. He was remembering Krishna by reciting shlokas. So by memorizing shloka, by reciting shlokas, it can remind us of Krishna at the time of death. And that is very, very important. The second one is to visualize the guru and their life in devotion. To remember your guru. Prabhupada, he told many of his disciples, he said, don't worry. When you're about to leave your body, I will come personally and take you. That is it. That is the power of remembering the guru at the time of death. And we saw many of Prabhupada's disciples who are very attached to him. They saw Prabhupada before leaving. Prabhupada, you are here. And they will leave because they were remembering their guru. That was the only qualification, to remember their guru. How much are we attached to our guru for us to remember our guru at the time of death? That is even sliding down more and more in Kali Yoga also. Those Srila Prabhupada disciples, they were very fortunate because they were very attached to Srila Prabhupada. Very attached to. So I can bet you 90% of Srila Prabhupada disciples will be delivered just by remembering Srila Prabhupada. Just by remembering the Srila Prabhupada. That is another way to leave one's body, because the pure devotee of the Lord is always absorbed in the devotional service of Krishna. So when you remember such devotee, you'll be taken. And the last one is that chanting the only name of Krishna when leaving the body. That is another way of engaging pure devotional service. And that we know is practiced by all devotees. When devotee is leaving their body, devotee gather around them, they try to chant Hare Krishna mantra to instill the remembrance of Krishna in such devotee's mind. Because sometimes even when we are not on our dying bed, just by hearing the chanting of the other devotees who are chanting with devotion, and you could connect with such devotee, you could feel the emotion in you. just by hearing such chanting. Just imagine now you are at the last stage of your life and you are hearing a devotee chanting with pure devotion, pure love, just to help you. You can remember, you can imagine how much it will still remembrance of Krishna in you. That is why it's very, very important. And that is why devotee organizes that. They organize that to help devotee to remember Krishna at the time of death. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that Parikshit Maharaj is here trying to concentrate his mind 100%, rejecting all other processes, just focusing on pure devotional service. To do what? So that at the end of the day, he can focus on Krishna. Just like Bhishma, we remember the General Bhishma Dev also. We have read that, we passed through that chapter. Focusing on Krishna, remembering Krishna pastimes. It can only be easy when throughout our life, we have practiced engaging in devotional service, pure devotional service for that matter. Very, very important. Because, like it's mentioned in Nectar of Devotion, you say, Aya vilasitam sunyam, gyana karma di anavritam, ayukulena Krishna nushinanam bhakti utama. Aya vilasitam sunyam. How many of us are consciously trying to engage in pure devotional service consciously now? How many of us are trying that? It has to be a conscientious effort. We have to consciously try to do that. Aya bilashitam shunyam. Aya bilashitam. Every other desire has to be zero. Only desire to please Krishna. That should be the paramount desire in our hearts. How many of us are chanting just to please Krishna? How many of us are attending SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM to please Krishna? How many of us are reading SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM to please Krishna? How many of us are chanting the holy name to please Krishna? How many of us are serving in the temple just for the pleasure of Krishna? This is what we call pure devotional service. We have to consciously do that. And that is why Prabhupada said he has named this movement International Society for Krishna Conscious. He has to be conscious. Unless we are conscious, we cannot be Krishna conscious. So we have to consciously think, I want to chant for the pleasure of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And such chanting always tastes differently. We can try it. We want to read Srimad Bhagavatam for the pleasure of Krishna. Such reading always tastes differently. Not that you are reading because you want to go and give lecture, like many of us we do. You know, because I want to give lectures, I have to read. Because I want to teach, I have to read. No, you are reading just because you know that Krishna loves that you are hearing about him, you are studying about him. That is pure devotional service. And when we consciously engage, when we do that consciously, we engage in that, then it will be very easy for us at the end of life to give up everything like Parikshit Maharaj did and focus our mind at that time on Krishna. It's very easy. So I will read the verse again, just to remind us of what we are studying. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentioned so many things about, he said, for devotee like Maharaj Parikshit, none of the material planets, even the topmost Brahma Loka, is desirable as a Goloka Vrindavan, abode of Lord Krishna, the primeval Lord and original personality of Godhead. So devotee just want to go back to Goloka Vrindavan, the abode of Krishna. This is only happened by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. This has not happened before. If you go to India and you see many devotees, they are even satisfied to go into Vaikuntha. But now we are desiring to go to Goloka Vrindavan. This mercy of pure devotee of the Lord. Yesterday, His Grace Srimad Bharata Prabhu was asking that question to Advaita Krishna Prabhu, and he mentioned that it is the pure devotee who create the urgency. The same thing also. Prabhupada only give us Goloka Vrindavan, nothing else. He was not talking about Vaikuntha. He was not talking about liberation. He said Goloka Vrindavan, Radha Krishna, Gopi, Gopal. Prabhupada was giving us the topmost abode in the realm of Krishna. This is a speciality of Srila Prabhupada. And that is why he's so special to Krishna. So special to Krishna because he's giving what others have not been given. Not that if you go to Vaikuntha planets, there will be you are less. No, but that is the speciality of Prabhupada. Is giving us the topmost planet in the spiritual world, and we cannot attain this except we practice pure devotional service. It has to be pure. Devotion has to be pure. We have to chant attentively in a pure consciousness. It's not easy, but we have to practice. Just like Narada Muni say, I quoted the verse, yeah, we have to give up everything and focus only on the lotus feet of Krishna. That also can implies mean that when you are chanting, give up everything, stop thinking of every other thing, just focus on Krishna. When you are trying to study the Srimad Bhagavatam, give up everything in your mind, don't think of any other thing, just focus on Krishna at that time. That can also mean that. So as a devotee, we have to always be conscious that in every step of our devotional service, we try to make it a pure consciousness, pure devotional service. So I will stop here so that if there's any contribution, comment, question, we take it. Thank you very much, all of you, for your attentive audience and for coming. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. His Grace KAVIKARNAPURA Prabhu. Anyone with a question or comment, realization, you may raise your hand and ask the question. But Prabhuji, I have a question from the collaborated verses you quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, 5, 18, and 19, specifically 18.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yesterday, when Advaita Krishna Prabhu gave class, His Grace Srimad Bharata Prabhu asked a question, and part of his answer was that it is just like a genetic thing, that our previous acharyas worshipped Krishna in a certain way, so we also follow suit, so we also do the same thing. So Narada Muni is saying in Canto 1, 5:18, that one does not need to pray to Krishna for anything. And Srila Prabhupada himself also talks about it in his purport that nobody prays for miseries. Nobody prays for pains, worries, but they do come anyway.
Yeah.
So why do we have to pray for favors? Why do we have to pray for things we think can make us happy? The same Narada Muni, who also trained Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was also saying the same thing, that sometimes you may save money in the corner of your room. A thief will break into your house and find the money and steal it. Whereas some other day, you may lose your money on the street. Everybody is walking by, yet you go back and then find your money. So if Krishna wants to protect, you protect. If Krishna does not want to protect, what can you do? So we devotees, understanding this phenomenon, why then do we go to school? Why do we work? When we know that whether we go to school or do not go to school, whether we work or we do not work, Krishna will provide.
Yeah.
We do not want to suffer, but suffering comes anyway.
Yeah.
We do not want certain things, but they come anyway. But why do we consciously do something to attain some sort of happiness, some sort of joy, some sort of pleasure? Does that mean that devotees should not work? Devotees should not go to school? I want to find out. Please help.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for the question is actually a very wonderful question. I know you know the answer, you just want us to, go deep inside it. It's a very interesting question. Like I always hear our great gurus always mention. At the other time I was listening to Chaitanya Bhagavat also. There's a story there I will use also. So the thing that is there is that the living entity, we are of different level of consciousness. And one thing that is there is that if by studying the scripture and practicing devotional service, you come to realize the level of consciousness you are situated. Don't jump, please, I'm begging you. Because that is what we call self-realization. You will realize which level you are. At least you have to realize that you're on a particular level. So that is the beginning of self-realization. On the journey of God, of God realization, you will realize that, oh my God, this is the level I am. I'm so falling. Wow. So I'm so far from reality. Oh my Lord, please help me. I need your mercy. So first of all, we have to realize which level we are. If you can give your life 10% without going to school, without, working to the pure devotional service, and you have realized that you can sustain that on that platform for the rest of your life, why should you waste your time going to school and doing other things? I give an example back to the other Modern Swami Maharaj. He has been in this devotional service from beginning. He has joined. His mind has not changed to today, and I'm very sure his mind is not going to change tomorrow. Same thing also with Srivas Banachari. These people, they have realized that in this lifetime, we can give our life 10% to God. It's not that they are not seeing other people who are going to school. It's not that they are not seeing other people who are doing other things that they are doing along with their devotional service, but they are not interested. They just want to follow 10% because they have realized that this is the level I am. I think I can make it. So as a devotee, one good we can do to ourselves, we have to be sincere with ourselves. Don't look other people's life to live your life. You are going to be in miserable life at the end of your life. If you look other people's life to live your life, you are going to, just for example, now, I come to devotional service today. I look back to Dhira Maharaj. I had his history. How? This is what I want to do. You don't know whether you're on that level, whether you can be able to do that, and you want to practice that. Before you know, you put yourself in danger. And at the end of the day, maybe when you now reach age 50, oh my God, I cannot continue. I think I need to go and marry. Then at the age of 50, I have to go back to school. Oh. Then you start living a miserable life. Because why? You are imitating other people's life. You never try to realize what level you are and follow suit. So what I'm trying to say in a sense, and I said that I will quote a story from SRIMAD of Chaitanya Bhagavat. Chaitanya Prabhu told Srivas Thakur, he said, Srivas, you are a grihasta. Go and walk. You are not working, you're a grihasta. What are you doing? He said, my Lord, I'm not going to walk. He said, take science then. He said, my Lord, I say, I'm not going to walk and I'm not going to take science. You have to provide what my family will eat. If for 3 days, you don't provide what my family will eat, I clap 3 times, you don't provide, I will go and tie stone on my neck and drown myself in the Ganges. I will not walk, neither will I take science. You have to provide. And Chitama Prabhu look at Shrivas. He says, Shrivas, oh my God, your faith is touching my heart. Even if any day comes that Lakshmi will have to go around with pan to beg, I will, Shrivas, I will personally make sure that there's not lacking in your house. This is the level of Shrivas Thakur. He has such faith in the Lord that he doesn't need to work. Meanwhile, Shivananda Sena is another pure devotee of the Lord. He's working to maintain devotees. When devotees are going to Jagannath, he manage, all the devotees' activities, take personal care of them, pay money. Even to the extent that there's one particular devotee in the associate of Chaitanya of Shivananda Sen. He doesn't know how to manage money. And it's because of that, his family is suffering. And Chaitanya Prabhu called Shivananda Sen. He said, Shivananda Sen, please, personally, help me manage this devotee's life. He is living on the platform that he has not reached, and his family will suffer. Please help me to manage him. So that is devotional service. We are all in different level of realization and faith. Some are in Bhajana Kriya, Anata Nivriti, Ruchi, Nishta. Some are in Bhava, some are in Prem. We have to realize which level I am. What level of faith I am. We should not jump. So what I'm trying to say, Prabhu, in essence, is that, yes, like it is mentioned in Bhagavatam that our misery and happiness will come according to our previous activity. That is already certain. Yes, it's true. They will come. Whether we work for them or we don't work for them, they will come. We don't need to endeavor for miseries. They come anyway. Similarly, our enjoyment will come because we have previously worked for those. They will come. But what I'm trying to say in essence is that, yes, we have not come to that level yet. So we have to be very careful on how we practice that. I remember when I just joined devotional service, that time I was very young. I was just finishing my secondary school, and I told my Guru Maharaj, I'm not going to university. I just want to give up my life to Krishna. And he wrote me a message. He said, that is all right, but you have to be very careful that you are not giving up your education because of laxity. I remember that word. That is the word they use, laxity. So you have to be very careful that you are not giving up your education because of laxity. That is the word they use. So we have to be guided. We have to be very careful as a devotee. If you are not there, you are not there. And don't try to bring it to your level. Like Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, we say, this is pure devotional service on this platform. If you're not there, you are not there. If you are there, you are there. There's nothing you can do. So don't try to bring it to your level and say, this is how it is. No. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that, no, as a devotee, we should be guided and know which level we are so that we don't make a mistake in life and start blaming ISKCON. ISKCON, they are the one who make my family suffer. ISKCON. We start naming, we have forgotten that Prabhupada is ISKCON, that we are blaming Prabhupada. So that we don't pull all our life blames on ISKCON. I know many people, they blame everything of their life to ISKCON just because they are not guided. So we have to be guided. Very, very important. So we should not jump to conclusion. We should act in a devotional service according to the level of our realization and advancement. I don't know, maybe this answer your question, or if there's anything you want to add to it, Prabhu.
Well, Hare Krishna. Your answer, I appreciate your answer, but your answer actually gives me more reason to ask.
Please ask, Prabhu. There's no any answer, so please ask.
I think that I appreciate the answer you gave, but from the explanation you gave itself means that there are different levels of devotees. Yes. And so what Narada Muni is saying refers to devotees who have attained a certain level. Yes. Now we are speaking to mostly devotees who probably haven't attained that level yet. we're not going to avoid discussing it because nobody has gotten to that level, because we all want to get there.
Yes.
But before we get there, what do we do? What do we do at where we are at, so that gradually we can get there? And talking about some devotees blaming ISKCON, lots of devotees have the right reason to blame ISKCON, because even though ISKCON is Srila Prabhupada is ISKCON, but his representatives, meaning you and me, if we misrepresent what Srila Prabhupada has said or what the scriptures are saying, and make devotees or let devotees stop all their academic pursuits and become full-time devotees, only to stop devotional service full-time and go back to start material life. And it becomes so difficult. The devotees are now advanced in age. They cannot go back to school. Maybe somebody wants to have a child. Maybe it's a woman. Now I cannot have a child because I've grown past a certain age. And they have every right to blame ISKCON, because some of us know what some of our leaders used to tell us when we joined. I'm not trying to say that these people should be crucified or whatever, but I'm saying this because if we accept and recognize that we made some blunders at some point, then we will learn from them so we don't repeat. So I think that some devotees have legitimate reason to blame ISKCON for their material and spiritual difficulties. Likewise, if Narada Muni and Prahlad Maharaj are speaking the way they're speaking, as I said initially, and Srila Prabhupada himself is also saying in this purport, if you wouldn't mind, I'll put it here, I highlighted it. The Prabhupada says, one should not therefore waste time with these flimsy things. One should only endeavor to go back to Godhead. That should be the mission of everyone's life. Now, we all know that we're trying to go back home, back to Godhead, but we cannot also avoid doing certain things for ourselves. We cannot avoid working. Some of us are working. Now, there are those who are not working, who are doing full-time, who are doing exactly what Srila Prabhupada is saying, but they're also dependent on those who are not considered to be like higher class to help the movement to go on. So what do we do? And so I'm thinking that I'm trying to answer, but I'm expecting an answer from you. I think
I know you have the answer. So let me just try my best.
I'm giving you what I think we should do. Then I will ask for yours also. I think that we should learn from our senior devotees and learn from them their mistakes, so that we do not repeat them, because now some of us are seniors, others are looking up to us. So we do not repeat the same mistake our seniors made, that somebody is going to school, like you were saying, you are going to school, you are going to the university, and you stop. Your guru asks you, don't stop because of laxity. You stayed in the temple full time. Somebody will stop schooling, stay in the temple full time, only to go back home and then go and continue his education. So I'm thinking that we should try to look at devotees joining in and throw all the different avenues, different options to them, and let them make their choice. In that way, we cannot be blamed, because we did not dictate to them don't do this, do that. Do this, don't do that. Hare Krishna. What's your
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for your wonderful contribution. But I would say a little thing regarding that. See, like I remember the other day we brought one Mataji, Nitya Kishore Mataji, and I think this matter came up also, and he blast. I love the way she was very, very frank in the way answer the question. You know, just because you are a devotee doesn't mean you should become stupid. She was very frank that day, I remember. She was very blunt and frank, you know. And I love those words she was using. It was very direct. And the same thing I will say today. You know, so it's just because, you know, and you read this particular part of purport, there's another purport you will go and read, where purport is encouraging us to have a perfect grihastha life side by side with as a devotee. So Prabhupada is reading to different audiences. Audience, you know, his audience is not just one particular set of people. There are people who have to live as a celibate. There's some people who have to live as a grihastha. There's people who have to live as a panaprastha. There's people who have to, you know. So these are the kind of people Prabhupada is writing to. These are his audience. So he's not going to write in a particular way in all his books. So you pick the one that reckon with you, the one that suits your lifestyle, and you follow it. We will not say because Prabhupada has written like this in this purport, so I should crucify Prabhupada. No, he's not ready for only you. He's ready for everyone. I remember Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Maharaj quoted one purport for Srila Prabhupada, where Prabhupada mentioned in Canto 7 in the purport about how Prahlad Maharaj was eating. He saw Prabhupada mentioned in that purport that one who want to attain perfection in life, we eat once a day. You understand? So is me and you, can we follow that instruction today? No, but Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Maharaj was following it. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj is still following it today. They could connect with that instruction. Is everybody in this country following that? And Prabhu, if you go to Mayapur or Vrindavan, the only dam, on a Ekadasi day, you'll be amazed. You'll be asking yourself, is today Ekadasi? Because you will see variety, the prasadam that they are not cooking on ordinary days. On Ekadasi, they will make more variety of that. Ekadasi prasad. You think that they are not reading that particular purport they are not reading that purport in Canto 7 that Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Maharaj read and taken very serious, and Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj read and taken serious? You think they are not saying it? But they are reading another part of Prabhupada's purport where Prabhupada said, eat prasadam to your neck and go back home, back to God. So Prabhupada is not having one particular audience that is writing to. He has to take everybody in this material world for 10,000 years to go back home, back to God, at Goloka Vrindavan. So, and he knows that everybody is going to be on different level of consciousness. So in a particular purport, he will write in a particular way. And another purport, you will write in another way. So me and you, as we are reading and we are scanning through Prabhupada's purport, we have to be able to see, oh, this one suits me. Okay, this one suits Maharaj. This one suits this person. So we should not say because he has written like this in this particular purport, then we generalize it. No, it's not, it doesn't work like that. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that Prabhupada is guiding the whole universe back home, back to God. It's not only me, it's not only you, Prabhu. The whole universe and everybody in this universe, they are in different level of consciousness. And he has to guide them for 10,000 years to come. So he is writing to all these people. So that is why I will still come back to that, what that Mataji say. That does not mean that we should be stupid. We have to take what we think that it suits us, follow it, and leave the rest.
All right. So thank you so much. I hope the devotees are listening to you keenly, that we do not jump and break our legs. Harichakra Prabhu, please unmute.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu, we are hearing you very loud and clear.
Yeah. Thank you, Kavi,
Thank you, Prabhu,
for your lecture. Yeah, like the question I was going to ask, I think Sir Dave asked like a part of it. So in your very lecture, you were saying that you were giving us example, and you were even citing Dhira Damodara Maharaj as an example that when he came, he never left.
Yes.
You said when Srimad Vanachari came, he never left.
Yes.
And so if you are somebody who also comes, you cannot imitate others. You cannot imitate others. And as like if you are desiring, if within you, you realize that going to school, you don't want to go to school, anything you want to, all you want to do is pure devotional service, then go ahead and do it. So my question is, Bhagavad Gita has told us that whatever great men do, common men will follow.
You're right.
And whatever standard they set, the whole world will pursue. So, like, if somehow or the other, by the grace of Guru and Krishna, I join devotional service, of course, I have my own mindset. But at the same time, if I see somebody if I'm in the association of somebody that I think that, oh, this person, I love his style of life, his way of practicing devotional service. Don't you think that saying of Krishna applies there? That I can look upon that person and try to live up to the standard that he's living up to, because he's the one who is encouraging me, enthusing me. He's making me enthused by the way he's living. And the second aspect of my question is, if you don't go to school, you yourself in your lecture, you were telling us that we should memorize slokas. We should memorize slokas because it might help us at the time of death. So if you don't know how to read, how are you going to memorize the sloka when you don't even know, you can't even read it? How are you going to memorize it?
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
So what I'm saying, what I'm personally thinking is that, well, you answer my question before I'll give my personal opinion.
You come out with to summarize it. Yes, Prabhu, let me try my best. Let me try my luck. So thank you very much, Prabhu. So like I was saying, yes, when we come to devotional service, we try to know our level. It took me a long time for me to know my level, and now I think I'm working on my level and I'm happy. It took me a long time. I thank Krishna and Guru that I didn't reach the age of 60 before I realized my level. so like I was saying, let's give an example. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he didn't go to university. But when he decided to preach, he decided that I want to preach to those who are going to school, because they are the future of any country. And he started his preaching in Mumbai, and he was preaching to them. And during that time, whoever is not going to, who are already in school and they are preaching to them, and they have that fever of want to give up school and come and devotion, they will calm that fever with water and say, Prabhuji, you finish your school, then you come. We will give you opportunity whether you want to continue like this or you still want to live the other side of life. So, but you calm down, calm down. We have experienced this before. We know how the fever used to come when you join. So calm down, So he was able to do that. And today now, Prabhu, see how successful they are, see how organized they are, and everything is going wonderfully. He himself did not go. And there's one of his disciples, Govinda Prabhu. He was in that shoe also. Govinda Prabhu, even though Maharaj was preaching to very highly educated people, himself did not go to university. But he saw that he can keep the standard of his guru. He did not go back to school. He remained at level. And now today also, he's glorified among those people also who are his top disciples. Because he was consistent and steady. So that is still the same thing I'm trying to say. Now you gave an example of Bhakti Dhira Maharaj and Srimad Vanachari that I mentioned, about them, that we have to follow a great devotee. Yeah, it's true. When you come to any organization, you look at the great people there and you want to emulate and follow them. That is true. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that even our Krishna consciousness is international movement, is all over the world. So if you come to devotional service and you only look at a particular angle, and you want to live your life based on that, in the future, you may regret doing that. And that is why the whole word of ISKCON is our word, is our home. So you should scan through. Look, this devotee, okay, this is how he's living. This is his standard. This is his educational qualification. No, I want to be like this. No, I want to be like this person. So we have more opportunity of who we want to follow in the world, because we have many devotees of different level, of different caliber. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that somebody I remember those days, many devotees, many of our senior devotees today, they came to movement. All their desire is to become a Sannyasi. Many of them want to just become Sannyasi. And as time goes on, many of them who could not become Sannyasi, they started dropping. Because the desire is to become Sannyasi, that because many are saying how Sannyasi are being respected. But being a Sannyasi is not a pure devotional service. Krishna did not say you become a Sannyasi and you attain him. No. So what I'm trying to say here is that the goal of life is pure devotional service. How we want to attain it is given in the scripture. You need basic education. Yes. At least we need to know how to read and write, like you said, Prabhu. Yeah, we need to know how to read and write. So we have to analyze ourselves. We should not discourage others from going to school. I know many senior devotees also who will discourage others. You are wasting your time. It should not be like that, because you don't know you don't know whether that's some person you are discouraging, whether his life cannot be like your own. So tomorrow, when the guy could not live up to your standard, he will start blaspheming you and criticizing that you ruin his life. It should not be like that. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that to attain pure devotional service is the goal. That is what is given. That is what we read today. Pure devotional service is the goal in Krishna consciousness. How we want to attain pure devotional service is given also in the scripture. So we have to analyze and see that, do I need education to attain pure devotional service? Or I don't need education. Okay, if I need education because tomorrow I have to marry, I need to work. So go and get the education so that you can work and maintain your family. But that does not give you pure devotional service. Pure devotional service means engaging in devotion to God, to Krishna, to please Krishna. And what is devotional service? Hearing and chanting. Remembering the Lord. We don't need academic education to do that. We don't need to take science to do that. We don't need to become a guru to do that. We don't need any material thing to do that. But do you need those things to do that in your own, in the level of consciousness you have? Then don't follow those people who have attained that without following that process. Look for somebody in our doctrine. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a very good example. He's a highly educated devotee, pure devotee of the Lord, was a magistrate, was a grihasta. Is that the kind of person I want to emulate? Yes. Oh, I love that lifestyle. Yes, you follow it. Do you want to be like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who he lived a strictly brahmachari? You know, he left school, he just focused to be a pure devotee. Is that what lifestyle you want? No, I don't want that. No, I want that. Then go after it. Is it Prabhupada lifestyle you want to follow? Prabhupada was a grihasta. He tried everything. He failed. He realized that pure devotional service is what I want to do. He followed it. He succeeded. Is that how you want to do? Follow Prabhupada. So we have all these, like Prabhu was nicely explained yesterday. We have all examples in our movement. For any kind of lifestyle we want to live, we have to decide which lifestyle I want to follow to achieve that goal. The goal, we should not miss that goal. We should not miss the goal. The goal is pure devotional service. It's not to become temple president. It's not to become Sannyasi. It's not to become guru. All these things are externals. You can be distracted with all these things also. But the goal is to attain pure devotional service at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. That is the goal of life. So Hare Krishna Prabhu, please, you want to add more?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for giving me that answer. And yeah, like I say, what we every day we even call material life. You see, in the regular world, sometimes some parents even want their children. They say, oh, you are my child, I want you to be a doctor. But you look at that boy within himself also knows that this is not what I want to do. But because the parents are insisting, they will try. Eventually, the boy get out of school anyway, because that is not what he wants to do. Because I know a personal friend of mine, he was my schoolmate, he was my junior, 1 year behind me. And his father was pushing him to become a doctor. But this boy wanted to play soccer. And the father will not allow him to go play soccer, but the mother will sneak him out and let him go. Eventually, that boy became a very top soccer player in Ghana, and he eventually even became what do we call it? The coach for our national team.
Ado, are you talking about Ado?
No, Akwesi Apia.
Okay, I want you to mention the name. Thank you.
Yeah, and he became the coach for the national team, and he made money. Meanwhile, some of his mates who actually became doctors cannot even compare themselves to him when it comes to material success. You see? So me, what I'm thinking is that this world we are in, Krishna has given us everything to help us come back to him. But some people have missed the point. They are misdirecting their energy. So I think all of the preaching that we are doing is to, whether it's Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, whatever scripture it is, Quran, Bible, whatever it is to redirect us to come to realize that there is a supreme being who is in control of everything that we are doing. And that as long as we are able to channel whatever we are doing for his glory, that is the ultimate, the ultimate goal of our existence, to channel everything in his glory. So in this way, everybody is given the opportunity. It doesn't matter what you are doing, as long as you are able to focus that I'm supposed to do it for the glory of this supreme God that I'm hearing about, that I'm reading about. Then that is the goal of life. Track. Exactly. So in this way, we will stop talking about don't go to school, don't do this, just chant your. Then it's like you try to limit people. Once we begin to talk like that, then we try to limit people. Let's make it broad. The goal is please Krishna. Whichever way you want to please the Lord, do it. Dedicate your life, dedicate whatever work you are doing, anything that you are doing in your normal way of life, use it for the pleasure of the Lord. And if you are able to do that, then, because I believe in that sloka in, what do we call it? In Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Panam Brahma Havi, Brahmagna Brahmana Hutam, Brahma Eva Tina Gantavyam, Brahma Kama Samadhina. Where Krishna says that
everything is Brahman.
Yeah, no, Krishna says that a person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities in which the consummation is absolute and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. You see, so this is my what do we call my conviction.
No, Babu, your conviction is perfect. Your conviction is perfect because at the end of the day, we are supposed to remember Krishna at the end of our life. That is the most important thing. Attain Narayana Smriti. To remember Krishna at the end of our life, no matter whatever we are doing, whether we are educated, we are not educated, we are illiterate, we are this, we are that, we are science, we are Grihasta, Vanaprastha. if you miss that point of remembering Krishna or engaging in pure devotional service to Krishna, if you miss that point, then you miss everything. That is the ultimate goal of life. You're right, Prabhu.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kali Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Haritaka Prabhu, can I please get the text number? The text you just put it. Can I get a text number? I would love to.
Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, text 24.
Okay, 424. All right. Thank you, Prabhu. I get that.
Well, okay, we'll go to Mother Jamavati, but Jamavati, David, please give me a second. We all heard Haritaka Prabhu say that we should make devotional service broad, and whichever way one wants to worship the Lord, one should do that. Now, what he meant by that is that we are nobody to establish another religious principles. The religious principles are already set in the scriptures. And so if one follows what has been established in the scriptures, whichever way one takes and dedicates his or her life to giving all the fruits of his labor to Krishna, then it becomes devotional service. Otherwise, somebody may think that any way, anyhow can work. So my preference is that I'm going to rob people and give their money to Krishna. And Krishna will not be happy with that. So that means we just
that is why I concluded it by saying that he has to be pleasing to Krishna. Exactly. Because that is the goal of life.
Exactly. So Mother Jamavati, please unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mata.
Hare Krishna, ma.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. So actually, several people have touched on just a couple of comments that I wanted to make. Prabhu, thank you for a wonderful class. And thank you for reminding all of us of the mindset that we should be in. And also how we should, evaluate ourselves in terms of where we are in this process. So thank you. You had mentioned that your guru discouraged you from, dropping out of school. And I actually applaud that. And I say that because at the beginning of this movement, there were so many, young devotees at that time who, in their zealousness to become, spiritual, gave up everything. And a lot of them prematurely interrupted their studies, their university studies. But of course, as we mature, we begin to realize that a lot of our material talents and skills can indeed be dovetailed and used in the service of Guru and Krishna, as a lot of our senior devotees now have realized. And there are so many of our senior devotees who were there with Srila Prabhupada at the beginning of the movement, who have gone back to school, in fact, and, gotten their degrees and whatever. But they have done so in the mood of being able to use that education and whatever skills and talents they have in the service of Guru, Krishna, and the devotees. The other thing that
let her finish.
Guru Krishna, devotees, and the world.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The other thing I wanted to mention, Prabhu, you were talking about, how material resources are used as a way of, or money, as a way of giving us comfort. But not really so much in terms of spiritual benefit. However,
I said that money can give comfort, not happiness.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And that is true. However, I also wanted to mention that, and this is something that I'm actually quoting from my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, in that we need money so that we don't have to worry about money. Because sometimes, depending on your consciousness, it's very difficult to concentrate on your spiritual sadhana if you're, constantly worrying
about money,
about how to, basically maintain your, basic necessities. You understand?
Yeah.
Of course, it can be done, but it just makes it very difficult. But when you do have the necessary money, I don't mean, exorbitant wealth, but money to maintain your basics so that you don't have to worry about money. It makes being able to concentrate on your sadhana and on your spiritual life a lot better. And when I say comfort, I don't mean, Hiranyakasipu comfort, but just being able to have the peace of mind that you can do what you need to do in terms of furthering your spiritual growth and development. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother Shemavati. Thank you for your contribution. I really appreciate that. And yes, you are right. Whatever you have contributed is they are all valid, And I remember when my Guru Maharaj told me that in the beginning that I hope you are not stopping school out of lassity. And I made up my mind that time to give up school because I was thinking I was very spiritually advanced, actually. That time I was thinking that time that my leg was not touching the floor, I was thinking I was from another planet. I was levitating, So I was on that kind of consciousness. So when he said that, I said, "Oh no, I'm not. It's not out of lassity. Actually, I think it's out of pure devotional service. I don't want to continue. I just want to focus on Krishna." That was my own. I was thinking like that. Then when the reality hits me, boom! Oh, nobody told me. I went back to school, and now I remember the first time the reality hit me. I was in Chopati. To be precise, I just tried to run through this. So I was in Chopati. I remember when I was in Chopati, my Guru asked me to go there to learn. So I was in Chopati, and all these wonderful devotees, they're very serious, more serious than me. They are doing wonderful services, And one day they gathered themselves around me, and everybody was discussing. Oh, Prabhu, come here, Prabhu, come. And all of them, they gathered. And they were started introducing themselves to me. And the other devotee was introducing all of them. He said, this Prabhu is MBA. This one is a PhD in so. This one is the list was a BSc. This one is a bachelor in this. And I look at myself. What am I? Devotion better than me. Materially nowhere. So who am I? Then something hit on my head. Haribo. Just because you are the devotee of Krishna doesn't mean that you should take life, you should not take things lightly, Then when I came back to my country, I went back to school. And I thank God I did that. Now I finished my second master, and I'm even thinking of pursuing more. So and that has not stopped me practicing my devotional service. So this is, how by associating with devotee, you get to know your level of devotional, of devotional level, and you bring yourself to reality, and you pursue real devotional service. So I really appreciate your comment. Yeah, it's true. When Guru Maharaj told me, I did not understand what he was saying. I could not realize it then. I was just in my own world thinking that I'm where I am. But when the reality came, I realized where I am, and I came to my level, and and I pursued what I'm supposed to do, So that is life. And what you are saying is true. So devotees, we just have to understand that along with our material, existence here, we are in the material body, like what you said. If now I have to pay for my house rent and the year is coming to an end, and I don't know where the money is coming from, how am I going to chant with peace of mind? It's not possible. You'll be chanting money, money. Krishna, please, I need money. Krishna, I need money. That is not pure devotional service. So you have to go and work, and so that you can take care of Krishna property. That is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur said. Krishna, my wife is yours, my children are yours, and my house is yours. Everything belongs to you. I'm the caretaker in this, in this business. I'm going to work very hard to take care of your properties. So this should be the consciousness of the devotee. So thank you very much for those contributions. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Mother Jambavati, and thank you so much for the answer and the acceptance of our comments, which actually are supposed to be questions. So
no, they are very nice. When you are discussing in the midst of advanced devotee like this, you should not think that you know all. You have to. If not, you find out that the most foolish person.
Well, no, we are trying now. Advaita Krishna Prabhu said it all yesterday that we're following the genetic pattern of our predecessors.
Yeah.
And it's usually Q&A. But because we are not there yet, sometimes we allow for devotees to also speak their mind, which is beautiful. Others do not tolerate that very well, but I'm just appreciating you tolerating that very well.
So Prabhu is very wonderful. Prabhu, see, in the advanced world, there is a saying that you are not. How does that saying go? I've forgotten. If you think that you know everything, it means you have not learned anything in life. The more you learn, the more you understand that, oh my God, I'm starting to learn. I've not reached there yet. And that is why you see, even the professor, if a professor is coming to class to teach you, he wants the contribution of the student, because he knows that, by exchanging of ideas and conversing, you learn more things from different angles that you are not exposed to. So that is how learning goes. It's very important. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. So any devotee with any question, please? Any sharing, please? You may unmute and speak. And one very section I like so much in BTG, back to go ahead.
Yes, Prabhu.
Is Sri Prabhupada speaks out. We want devotees to speak out, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sri Salika. Haribol.
Yeah,
Salika Prabhu, you're welcome, Prabhu.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you for the beautiful class. Thank you all the devotees for the contributions. They're all wonderfully said. I just wanted to say something briefly because, when we discuss this kind of a topic and this kind of matters comes up, it gives one a sense of, could I say, responsibility, because the reality is that for those who have joined this movement over 2-3 decades in West Africa will know that there was a gross misrepresentation and mispresentation of the Srila Prabhupada's philosophy in West Africa. I can't say of other places, but I'm talking of West Africa, because until about 10 years, 15 years ago, for the younger devotees, for those of us who joined there are so many devotees who have to abandon their education, abandon their businesses, because they were misled by the so-called leaders who feel and present the philosophy as though one cannot live a normal life. And then because most of the younger ones have not read enough to be able to realize what the scripture says are different from, because they were the scriptures, they were the Krishna, they were the everything that the younger devotees see. So they just follow. well, you could call it blind following, but sometimes that's what happens to innocent persons. We're not blaming anybody. Maybe it's part of our own karma also that we have to suffer that kind of fate. But the reality is that there was a gross misrepresentation and mispresentation of the philosophy in this part of the world at some point in time. But thank Krishna that some of us stay back. We are able to see that part and we're seeing the new part. And it's advice for the younger generation of devotees that they should understand that the philosophy of Krishna consciousness lies in the books, not in any individual. The philosophy is what Srila Prabhupada has said, and that is why we have the Guru Sadhu Sastra. So before they take decisions about their life, not because some guru say, some senior devotees say, some Prabhu say, they should check with what the scripture says and what their acharyas have said before they take decisions about their life, so that they don't get to find themselves in some of the situations that some of our generation of devotees have found themselves today, and which is what is bringing about the decline in the growth of the movement here, because so many young devotees feel that the older devotees were a write-off. Their life was not something to emulate, so they don't want to take the path of Krishna consciousness, which is very unfortunate and makes it a very struggling situation for the West African Yatra to develop now. But anyway, Guru and Krishna, they know the truth and they have a plan for the Yatra and know that eventually the Yatra will grow by their grace. Hare Krishna. I just want to contribute this.
Salika Prabhu, thank you very much for that, your wonderful contribution. But I want to say something. Prabhu, the Yatra is growing. Can't you see? It's growing.
That's what I'm saying. We are saying the same thing.
Let me finish. So, like, I remember that time. Like what you are saying is true. When you want to do something, you start feeling, oh, nobody has done this before. It's like, wow, why should I do this? Oh, if I do this, oh, what will Maharaj say? What will this Prabhu say? So there's this kind of fear in the air that time. So we know this, and many of us. That is why I thank Krishna for my life, because I'm that kind of a devotee that I like to do what others have not done before. I like experimenting. And that is why, let me go briefly into when I was a brahmachari like that, like everybody in their mind, their projection is that, oh, this guy should just be a brahmachari and science, Don't come down. If you come down, we are going to eat you raw. Then I got there, I said, no, why should I do what other people want me to do? It's my life. I like to do what I want to do. So when it's time, I said, no, I want to get married. And nobody crucified me. I came out, I do what I was, like that. Also, I was a temple president. When I went back to school, I told my Guru Maharaj, I want to go back to school. He said, okay, very good. You want to go back? Yes. And I enrolled. I started going to school. Even when I was a temple president, although I finished when I left as a temple president. So I thank Krishna that whatever is going on around and whatever is people are thinking was not restricting me. And I'm showing devotees that, see, you have to take responsibility of your life. And that is what I'm telling the young ones nowadays also. We have to take responsibility of our lives. Let's say because this person is living like this, you have to live like that. No. What is the most important thing in Krishna consciousness? To be Krishna conscious. Pure devotion, to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. That is what Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned in Nectar of Devotion as the essence of devotional service, to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So whatever we are doing in life, whether you want to go to school, whether you want to marry, are you remembering Krishna? Whether you want to walk, does your walk make you to remember Krishna? If you are remembering Krishna, you're on the right track. And that is what we should be telling the young ones nowadays. Whatever you want to do, just remember Krishna, and that is it. Because remembering of Krishna is what will make our life to become perfect.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate your response to the comment I made. Krishna consciousness is the key. That's what Prabhupada preached. And thank God that, like you said, I agree with you totally. Krishna consciousness is growing. maybe not the way we want it or we expect it to grow, but obviously it is growing, because if it is not growing, some of us will not be here, the new generation of devotees will not be here, and the Bhagavatam daily class will not be here. So everything will have been closed. So the fact that everything is still moving on shows that Guru and Krishna's plan is on course. We've passed that phase of darkness, of ignorance. We are in the light now. And it is just a matter of time. We'll become a pure devotee, whether in this body or in next.
PRABHU, Krishna consciousness is growing seriously in West Africa. You are not seeing. It will explode one day, boom. Then you will know that something is growing small somewhere.
No, I think Salika said it's growing. It's not like.
Yeah, yes, I know. I'm just supporting whatever you have said. Yes,
it's growing.
Yes,
thank you.
It's going to explode. It's going to explode one day. It's going to explode. It's growing. You know, it's just like when you are living with your child will be growing. You will not know. But when your friend will come, you say, oh, your child is grown. This boy has grown. No, that is how life is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shrikavi. Anyone else with a question or comment before we let Prabhu go? Well, Shima Vara Prabhu, is he here? Vara Prabhu, do you have something to say? I see Utpala Prabhu here. Utpala Prabhu, Hare Krishna, do you have something
Utpala Prabhu, you are welcome. Utpala Prabhu, you are welcome.
Shima Vara Prabhu, if you have something to share, please do that before we close. Please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhu.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all the assembled devotees. Thank you for the nice discussion. Yeah, I think we are looking at how the social aspect, our Krishna consciousness impact on our social life, which is nice. However, there's one aspect we are omitting, and that aspect is equally important. And that aspect is being totally ignored. The fact that yes, Krishna consciousness, dovetailing your activities in Krishna consciousness and being a devotee in whatever category, whatever aspect of your life, that is for everybody. That is normal. But not everybody is going to be a missionary. Just let me use the word most common. Not everybody is going to be a missionary. Missionaries are called those who give their life, and that there's no question of adjusting their life, and there's no question of thinking about money, and there's no question of thinking about how they fit into the society. It is not part of their grain, or it isn't, because they have the calling. It wasn't part of Prabhupada's, mindset, whether it fit into the society or not. It wasn't part of most of the great acharyas. You read the stories of Sankaracharya and many of these acharyas. It is not part of their mental, mindset, to be able to be accepted or to fit into the society. They don't come for that. So we shouldn't lose sight of that. That there's some people who have the calling to represent and to spread the mission. And for them, none of this material situation can be any impediment, neither education, neither material work, or nothing can be an impediment. So that aspect we're missing out in our discussion. As I was listening, and I noticed that we all think that we can fit into the society and at the same time, be devotees. That is for general mass of people. But those who actually have the calling to spread and to spread Krishna consciousness, the material Inebriety, material status has nothing to do with them. So I just want us to understand that. And the problem, of course, like some of us are saying, there was some gross mistake in the beginning and all that stuff. I don't share all that idea. I don't share all that. There will be some partially correct. Maybe partially correct, but not exactly. Where problem is the fact that we did not direct the movement or the mission in the way Prabhupada envisioned. In 1996, in Prabhupada Centennial in India, Gurudev organized a kind of pilot social development seminar, and I was there. And in that seminar, most of the leaders were speaking about the vision of Prabhupada and where we've gone wrong. And that vision of Prabhupada that has gone wrong is the fact that we were not able to introduce the system that can make everyone follow the area that can help him or her best in Krishna consciousness. So those who have come to serve and who have come to give their life to God, to Krishna, to spread the movement, whether they go to school, whether they marry or not, that is not any problem for them. It's never an impediment for them. Like Prabhupada said, there's no material impediment for Krishna consciousness. But because there was no such system, which we call generally Varnashram, that helps people to be able to identify how they can grow and develop without, feeling let down or feeling like they are behind socially. That system was that part of the vision of Prabhupada, that was what we did not follow thoroughly. And that is being a problem, and it continues to be a problem, because even though you might say now, okay, we will tell new generations to do like this, to do like that, but you're forgetting that it will not be easy to spread Krishna consciousness if you don't have missionaries. That it will not be easy to spread Krishna consciousness if you don't have people who give their life. And then the mood that we're discussing now, that we're thinking is acceptable now, socially correct, that mood will not help Krishna consciousness to spread, because people just getting comfortable in their lifestyle. So anyway, this is my point of view. I'm not trying to impose something, but I totally feel different from the way the discussion is going. So I thank you for giving me the opportunity to say something. Think about the missionary life, my missionary aspect. Think about all those who inspired us to be devotees today. And think about the level of sacrifice they made. Without them, we wouldn't be here. And if we think that we don't have to make that sacrifice for others to join or for the movement to continue, we're lying. Because that is the foundation. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for the wonderful contribution. I really appreciate the angle of understanding or your perspective of the discussion. We really appreciate it. And yeah, just like what you say is true. Without missionary, no movement will move on. And that is why you see, even in the Catholic, proper say we should look at the Catholic. They have those who are dedicating their life, and they are the leader of that organization. So yes, we always need those who are missionaries in any movement, if you want it to go for a long time, those who are dedicating their life. And also the other aspects of our movement, just like you said, like a Bhakti Vrisha program that is only Jabadaka Swami Maharaj started. Also, that also can help the missionary spirit of Krishna consciousness also. And that is why I remember when we were in the GBC college, His Grace Kantoya Prabhu was specifically talking so much about this. Yeah, missionary, they will be there. And we owe a lot to those who have dedicated their life in the beginning also. But he's now saying that the way the Kali Yoga is going, time will come that it will be very difficult for people to live a celibacy life, which is true. Very difficult. And at that time, the support system of the Grihastha life will be the only way to move forward. And that is like, okay, I invite my friend to my house, tell him about Krishna. And that is the same thing Chaitanya Prabhu told the man who wanted to give his life. He said, go back home, teach Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam to others, and become the guru and liberate everybody in the land. So the movement has two aspects, which we can concentrate on those two aspects. Yeah, the missionary life has to be there. And also the Grihasta also, they have to be in the missionary spirit. Not that we just sit down comfortably and live in a comfortable life. No, we have to be in a preaching spirit also, because it's easier for us to get to our connection, those who are connected to us, our friends, family, and all the rest. So yes, these two aspects also is there. So thank you very much, Prabhu, in all the rough for your contribution. We really appreciate that. Yes, Prabhu, thank you. Yes,
thank
Prabhu.
you. Thank you, His Grace, Srimad Prabhu. Thank you, KAVIKARNAPURA Prabhu. Utpala Prabhu, do you have something to share?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. All glories to the symbol of Vaishnavas. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Gurudev.
All glories to Upala Prabhu, the Minister of Communication himself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I don't have much to share. I just wanted to chip in one thing. I do not agree with some of the points made, especially in the area of being misled in the beginning. The mood in which most of us joined, that was the mood then. Everybody was in the mood to acquire spiritual knowledge. And we dived into it, deeply, without reservation.
Yeah.
And because of that mood, whether we were educated or were not educated, or those who were leading us were educated or were not educated, the fact that that mood was followed is the reason, the raison d'etre, if French people, according to French people, is the reason of ISKCON being even present today in this part of the world.
Yeah.
If we were not in that mood, wearing stickers, wearing dhotis, putting on tilak, with full faith in Krishna, with full devotion, I don't think we will have ISKCON we're having today in West Africa at the level it is. Those people were the foundation. There was no question of being misled. And those people who were misled are the foundations and the reason of our being even available now. And now, if you look back, Prabhujis, if you look back, in the last 5 to 10 years, we have had people who acquired material education within ISKCON. But where are they? What are they doing? Can they wear dhoti and go to the street and preach? Can they put on stickers? Can they wear tilak? No way. They don't do it. And if the calling is not there, like Vara Prabhu said, it cannot work. There must be calling and there must be sacrifice.
Right.
So we should wipe away from our minds that we were misled. We were never misled. Those who led us did what they are supposed to do, what they ought to do at the time they did it. And it helped us. It helped us. That is why we have ISKCON today, okay? In West Africa. So if we think that PhDs they will be the pillars of our survival, well, so we can go out and bring them. We should bring them. As leaders in the movement now, we should bring the PhDs, let them come and preach. But unfortunately, we have people who are already educated within us who are not doing anything. They are not even preaching. They are afraid. They're even ashamed of telling you Hare Krishna, even within the temples. And some of them go away even. Some were trained by ISKCON. They got their education and they go away. Our children even. So please, we should think of how to make sacrifices so that the movement can go on. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Prabhu. Thank you very much, Upala Prabhu. Saturday, Prabhu, do you remember that I referred to that Mataji's statement when we started this?
Yeah, you said it. You said it.
It's the same thing. Yes. It's the same thing. So nobody is misled. So it's just as the mood. Yeah, yes. So you are right, Prabhu. You're all right. And now also the mood is always is different now. So we have to balance the mood now. The Grihasta mood is here. The missionary spirits have to be awakened again. So we have to learn how to balance the mood. That's what I'm trying to say also.
There is no more missionary mood.
Salika, please, I beg you in the name of the Lord and Savior.
Let me just say just one sentence.
Okay.
Just one sentence. I just want to correct something.
Can you remove it online so that we can end this?
I need to correct something. I never used the word misled. I said there was misrepresentation and misunderstanding of the philosophy. I never buy the idea that anybody was misled. I don't assent to that. I didn't assent to it that somebody was misled. I said there was a misrepresentation and misunderstanding of the philosophy in the beginning.
By so-called leaders.
Hold on. And that's why I said,
let's do the
just a moment. Because it's interrupted, I've been done with it. Let us do the first thing first. There is emphasis. But Prabhu understood my point when he said,
let us do the first thing first.
Yeah, Salika Prabhu, hold on. We're going to do it this way. Metravinda Devi has had her hand up for a very long time. Please let us take her. Metra, please unmute. Metravinda Devi.
Thank you so much. I just want to say again how much I appreciate this platform where we can all communicate authentically, fearlessly, right? In an appreciative mood. But also, if we have balance, then there has to be the ability to understand that none of us are perfect in these human forms as we practice this philosophy. So I believe, Sriman Varaha Prabhu, I respect you greatly, and I respect what you said. I also respect the opinions and expressions of the other devotees. We must be able to speak freely and without fear, our hearts and minds, in a mood of wanting to improve whatever has gone on. And that's the part that is, in my perception, of aspiring to practice this process over 30 years, is the move. Oh yes, please, we want your opinion. We want you to share, and to not have it deemed criticism, because when we do that, we're shutting down a person's authentic and God-given right to express one's mind. And confidentially is a tricky thing. It should be that we can express our hearts if that means that we're trying to heal, help, educate, and improve the society, how people are treated, how people are perceived when they're trying just to, again, either heal themselves or heal the society at large, because that needs to happen. Because there have been instances and are on certain levels, people who our stuff is coming up in our service, whether it's a leader or a cook that puts too much salt in the prep or what have you, because we are fallible. If our hearts are in the right place and our minds are clear, then it should be taken that it's for the good. But let's be honest, we're all healing. And as it said, ISKCON is a hospital. But if the doctor or the nurse in the hospital is sick, then others will be infected. We have to look at that from a platform compassionately and for the regard of improving everything for everyone who comes through the door. If you don't like the color purple and I have on the color purple and I walk through that door, you don't have to say it, I'm gonna feel it. So we have to check ourselves, we have to check our hearts. We have to be in touch with what's going on in the mind. We have to be able to speak in a way that gets us help and helps us help others, regardless of what your position is. That's all I'm saying. And I respect everyone's opinion, but we have to be able to speak freely without being criticized for it or attacked for it or being made to feel frightened to speak, because it is in speaking that understandings can happen on deeper levels as well. With as much respect as we can, But it also says in Bhagavad Gita, truth should be spoken, whether palatable or not.
Yeah.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
very much, Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mitravinda Devi. Thank you so much. So, dear devotees, we thank you all for being here, and especially Speaker, His Grace Kavikarnapura Prabhu, and as well all the various devotees who have given contributions, who have given their understanding from the scriptural viewpoint. And those who haven't said a word, but who are here enjoying every word that is spoken here, we appreciate you all. Please hold on a minute, please. I'm not done yet, please. I'll come back to you.
No. I'm not going to say anything. What I'm saying is that I think Salika must be given the opportunity to finish.
But you're not going to say anything. You're saying something.
Yeah. Because you know, if I start talking, it will be long. But what I'm saying is that Salika says something, and he wants to clarify the point he made. So I think we should give him the opportunity to clarify the point.
Yes, we are not done yet.
All right.
Salika will be given the opportunity to speak. But what I'm trying to say is that we have been here for over 2 hours.
Over 2 hours, yeah. Precisely 2 hours, 50 minutes.
Yes, and usually it becomes difficult for people watching to watch such a long recording. So at this point, we're going to try to bring this class to a formal closure. And then we will meet again tomorrow. So at this point, we're going to ask all the devotees to kindly unmute, and then we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express our appreciation for our revered speaker, His Grace Kavikarnapura Prabhu. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare